The NAACP is suing xAI over data center pollution. The FCC just handed Netgear a de facto router monopoly in the U.S. And Amazon is buying the satellite internet company behind Apple's SOS system. It's Wednesday, April 15th, and here's a quick look at some of the news happening in the tech world this morning from Engadget. The NAACP is suing xAI and a subsidiary called MZX Tech for allegedly operating unpermitted methane gas turbines to power its Colossus 2 data center in South Memphis. The association is asking the Federal District Court of the Northern District of Mississippi to declare that the company has violated the Clean Air Act, force it to stop using its unpermitted turbines, and assess financial penalties against xAI for violating federal law, among other requests. The lawsuit claims that xAI, the Elon Musk-founded AI startup now owned by SpaceX, is operating 27 gas turbines without an air permit to power Colossus 2, one of a growing number of data centers xAI has set up to train Grok, its AI assistant. Gas turbines expel pollution, hazardous chemicals, and fine particulate matter that are linked to things like heart problems, respiratory diseases, and even certain cancers, issues that are particularly concerning given Colossus 2's close proximity to people's homes. Operating these turbines without an air permit also violates the Clean Air Act, which requires sources of pollution to be permitted before being operated or constructed. The NAACP is represented in the lawsuit by the Southern Environmental Law Center and Earth Justice. Before filing the lawsuit, the NAACP sent xAI a 60-day notice of intent to sue in compliance with the Clean Air Act. xAI's failure to respond to the notice is why the lawsuit is moving forward. The Federal Communications Commission has announced that Netgear has been given conditional approval that effectively exempts it from a previous ban on foreign-made networking routers. The conditional approval gives the company a de facto monopoly on the selling and servicing of new consumer routers in the U.S. Both Netgear's lines of Nighthawk and Orbi mesh routers are covered by the approval until October 1st, 2027, which appears to mean that the company can continue to offer software updates to both lines and presumably release and sell new models in the future. The FCC dramatically expanded the covered list, a collection of communications equipment seen as posing a risk to national security, to cover all foreign-made routers in March of 2026. The decision prevents companies who make routers outside of the U.S. from introducing new foreign-made models and pushing certain software updates to existing models after March 1st of 2027. Confusingly, though, it does not require anyone to replace their existing router or prevent those companies from selling routers they've already made. Receiving conditional approval is the definitive way companies can get off the list, but part of the FCC's requirements for approval is the company offering a plan to bring some or all of its manufacturing to the U.S., a theoretically costly decision. Amazon announced it is merging with satellite internet provider Globalstar to bolster LEO, its Starlink rival. Globalstar is not a household name, but you do know its work as it provides Apple's emergency satellite connectivity for compatible iPhones and watches. In a statement, Amazon says the deal will grow LEO's space-based footprint and enable direct-to-device service for its burgeoning satellite network. An interesting wrinkle is Apple owns 20% of Globalstar, which it bought for $1.5 billion back in 2024, but that did not get a mention. Instead, the release says Amazon and Apple have agreed LEO will power satellite services for supported iPhone and Apple Watch models, and that this support will continue as LEO's network evolves, as well as collaborating with Apple on future satellite services using Amazon LEO's expanded satellite network. The release adds that LEO's direct-to-device service will not start until 2028, and the deal itself is not expected to close until 2027. That is, of course, unless Amazon doesn't placate the FCC into extending its deadline to get more satellites into orbit before July of this year. At present, the company needs to have 1,600 satellites in orbit by that deadline, but only expects to have around 700 actually up in the skies and working by that point. Thanks for listening. Check out Engadget.com for a whole lot more news. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more tech news from Engadget.